Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. I am so happy to be here today to talk to you about Querétaro, Mexico, with my guest Siobhan, who lives there
Yes,
and is
ma'am.
going to tell us all about it. But first, Siobhan, introduce yourself.
Hi, everyone. My name is Siobhan, Sibby56 on all the socials and YouTube. I'm a 40 something Black American woman. I have been solo traveling off and on, kind of bopping since around late 2016. My family has settled in Florida, but I grew up in Mississippi. I have lived in several places in the Northeast. I've lived in South Korea. I taught English there. And now I'm in Mexico. I'm in Querétaro, Mexico. So yeah,
Okay.
about me.
Okay. Um, all right. How long have you been in Querétaro?
I have been in Querétaro this time since September of last year.
And before that?
Before that, I came in late 2021 and stayed for about a year and a half. Then came back to the States because I thought we were going to have a female president, and then that didn't happen. So, yeah.
We'll disappoint you like America.
Listen.
Okay, so today we're talking about Querétaro. If you're here, ask your questions, and we're going to get to them. My questions first. What do you like about living in Querétaro?
Ooh, what do I like about living? I love the weather.
Hmm.
It's drier here, which is nice. My family's in Florida. I was in Florida from my freshman year in college all the way up until I was about 27. And it's humid and hot and uncomfortable, and you need AC all the time there. But here, in my apartment, I have the windows open and the breeze is constantly blowing through. And the summers are not too intense. I know this year we had a few days where it got up into the mid 90s, but then it went back down and it's been pretty comfortable ever since. That said, I do have a fan going because I'm perimenopausal and hot. But one of the things I do love is the weather. I love the people. Everyone here has been very kind, even the other foreigners, which is wonderful.
Mhm.
Yeah, I would like to know about weather, temp, seasons. Yeah, it's pretty temperate climate. We're in the mountains. It's not going to be the same as Puerto Vallarta or Merida, places like that. It is drier here. I remember when I first moved down, I had a what is it called, a humidifier in my room because I it took a minute to get used to the dry air, but now I love it. And it's the temperatures lately. It's been getting to maybe 78, 80 during the day at the most for the past couple of weeks. And it has been rainy season, so it'll rain for a few minutes during the day, and then the sun will come back out. So
Is that what rainy season is for y'all?
listen, that's what it's been that's what it's felt like this year. We've
Okay.
had a few days of rain.
Hmm.
Um, and then it's like today is sunny, and it's been sunny for the past. But when I first came down here, this is proof that, the whole um,
Climate change?
climate change is real,
Real.
very real. There were weeks where it was just torrential rain, and like the electricity went out, and I was in a different part of the city. And so when the electricity would go out, it would go out for like all day or for, several days at a time. In the area of town that I'm in now, if it goes out, it's maybe for an hour or two and then it comes back. So,
Okay.
but yeah.
All right. I forgot this earlier. My fault. Good morning to everyone who's here watching live. Good morning to all the members of my membership. We will meet after this. Good morning to everybody who's watching, wherever you are. Let me know in the chat where in the world you are. And if you want to go to Querétaro, tell us and
Hmm.
ask us questions because that's why we're here. We're here to help. Okay, so we're not that, we're a couple hours away from there, but
Hmm.
it's a very similar kind of, there's a word for this, but Adelia would know, but I don't know it. But very similar as far as like altitude,
Yeah.
uh, temperatures, etc.
Mhm.
We'll have multiple days in the week where there's a warning, which is basically like, if you don't have to be outside, don't be outside.
Don't be outside.
Rain. So I'm surprised. So we've gone from less rain
Uh-huh.
to more rain in the past 7 years that I've been here. So
Okay.
it's interesting to hear that you've gone from more rain to less rain. Can we
Yeah.
send our rain back to you? How about that?
At first I was gonna be like, "Ooh," but I'm in a different area of the city now. I live in the north in an area called Juriquilla,
Uh-huh.
and to be honest, I love a good rainy day. So send it on. And knowing that my electricity can handle it now, I'm not in an area of the city where it's going to go out. Send it on.
It's so weird that like certain areas of the city are just so different than others. I don't
Yeah.
understand. I don't.
Yeah.
Even as far as like the climate itself,
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand how this all works. But so you used to live in a place where you would lose power
Yeah.
and internet then for
Yeah.
a day or days.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That was so that was when I first moved here. And I'll be 100 with you. I did some research, but I didn't do a ton.
Mhm.
And so I depended on the realtor that I worked with at the time to kind of, help me. I was like, this is what I'm looking for. I'm a single woman by myself. I would like a certain level of security. I work remote, blah, blah, blah. Here's what I would like. So she showed me a few places. Those places didn't work out. I ended up in Centro Sur. And it was it was a new build, which was lovely. But it was right next to, so there's like a 6-lane highway that kind of goes around the city.
Mhm.
And it was right next to this highway. And I would have to literally, if I wanted to get coffee, go to the OXXO that was across the street. It was literally across a highway, and I had to go over like a land bridge. But that said, that area of town was still kind of developing. And so anytime it would rain, anytime, and the rain was torrential back then. I remember going to the grocery store and getting my haul for the week, and I come back and there's like, I had floor to ceiling windows. I was on the 14th floor. It was beautiful. I had a gorgeous view of the city. And then there was water puddled in my bedroom, in my living room. And so maintenance had to come and fix the situation. They did, and I didn't have that issue again. But yeah, the electricity, that was a major issue, is that the electricity would go out whenever there was a torrential rain. But that doesn't really happen here, so that's good.
Okay. I have questions about construction practices in central Mexico. But they're not for you. They're more like philosophical questions. Because, my window does the same. We had sideways rain once.
Okay.
Now there's rain on the wood floors.
Yeah.
The owner told me I need to protect, and I'm like, if y'all not sealing the windows, how am I going to protect?
How are we supposed to protect it? Right. What am I supposed to do?
Right. I mean, in my last place, my last place was a new build. I was the first one who lived in there. And somehow, some way between the floor upstairs and my floor, water came in and was like in the ceiling. Not a lot, but enough that my curtains fell.
Oh, geez.
And y'all not just sealing off windows? Is that? Are you like, you have a view? Focus on that.
Right. Look how pretty. Look how gorgeous.
It's gorgeous. Don't worry about
none of that other stuff.
Seepage.
That's wild.
Yeah. All right. Let me see what other questions. First, before we get to your questions, what don't you like about living in Queretaro?
What don't I like? That's a good question. Listen, I understand that everyone loves their pets. Pets are wonderful. We love pets. I grew up with dogs. We always had family dog and love that. People here really love their dogs. like
Mhm.
really, really love their dogs.
Yes.
Um, and there are, several restaurants where you can bring your pet in. I personally am not a fan. But that said, your dogs are more annoying than you think they are. If you're used to their barking, you're used to, them being excited during the day. It is a situation where I am wearing like noise canceling headphones most of the day because, my neighbors, everybody and their mama has a dog in my neighborhood. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Are the dogs barking or are they just being annoying in other ways?
Barking, and then sometimes like every now and again, like the smaller dogs, the yappy ones. It sounds like there's a few of them that get together and kind of fight. They like to tussle a little bit,
Okay.
and I can
A
hear
little
them
dog fight?
a little
Money
bit.
on it. Go put money on it. Go outside. See what's going on.
I should.
You
I
should.
should. If I knew where they lived, I'd be like,
They're probably all living in the same place. They're probably like brother and sister.
probably so, to be honest with you. But that's the only, and that's a small thing,
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay. Yeah. My neighbor has a dog, and Adelia calls it like my alarm system
Yeah.
because she was inside my apartment and I was outside, and she knew I was coming back in because the dog was like, no matter how long, I hate a dog. Listen, we're off topic, but I hate a dog that no matter how long you live there, it still barks at you.
It still barks. Yeah. Yeah.
We're the only two people on this floor.
What's the problem? You should know me by now.
You know me by now.
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
know me by now. But I guess not. I guess every time someone comes, here he come,
Here he
barking,
Yep, absolutely.
and being just, and they don't control him very well. I think it's an issue of this one. Listen, I don't, y'all. I'm struggling today, so we're just gonna talk.
Yeah.
It's an issue of like not training their dog. They haven't trained him,
Mhm.
and so like we're on the elevator and they gotta hold him real tight.
Oh. Now, I haven't run into that, thankfully. But I am the type of person, even though I've not had any really bad experiences,
Mhm.
physical experiences with dogs, I still give dogs a wide berth because you don't know
Right.
how they're going to react, and how well they're trained. But like I have a neighbor, so I'm on the 11th floor in my building. And, from my little balcony, I can see, other areas of the neighborhood. And there's a neighbor on this side who has like, the dogs. I don't know dog breeds, y'all. I don't. But like they have the ones that have like the little ears that are like a hound dog or something.
Like
Yeah.
yeah,
Like the short little legs and the
the
long.
basset hound kind of situation.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so. And I have sat outside and watched as, they will, I don't know if the lady's like cleaning, and it's kind of like, okay, let me set you out back so that I can do what I need to do in the house and then bring you. But every time they put that little dog out back, it starts barking. It starts just,
Because why am I not in the house?
what are you doing? I'm supposed to be chilling on the couch. That's what I've been doing for the last hour and a half. And now you want to, and their backyard doesn't have grass. It's just like a concrete kind of slab situation. And they have like a grill out there and like the thing where you hang your clothes, but he does not, I'm saying he, like I know it's a he. They don't like it. That dog does not like it. And he lets the whole neighborhood know.
Because I have a home, and y'all
Yeah.
make me look real homeless.
Mhm.
I agree with them. All right, we got some good questions. Let's go to
Okay.
those. Cornelius.
Okay. I'm in Senegal.
They said the whites.
Oof.
The whites. Cornelia said, let's listen. We're
Not
going
even
straight,
around the bush. We're gonna go straight there.
straight there.
Yeah.
Straight there.
I don't have a lot of whites around me. Hurikia is considered a slightly more affluent area. My neighborhood is walkable, but the apartment complex that I live in, there are a lot of foreigners here, but it's not what you would think.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the only American that I know of in my apartment complex. Everybody else is either Mexican, or come from another Spanish-speaking country, or from Japan or South Korea.
Okay.
Yeah. And so in my neighborhood, that's mostly who I see, which is interesting because there's a lot of conversation around, gentrification and folks coming in. And the conversation feels a lot like, oh, those Americans, those horrible, horrible Americans coming through raising prices. But to be 100 with you, the majority of foreigners that I see in my neighborhood are from Asia.
I think that conversation is always interesting because it's always, oh, the Americans.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also like, okay, if someone is from a different country in Latin America, do you still consider them to be, are they still on the gentrification list, right?
Yeah.
Still on the list of gentrifiers? If someone is from a different state in Mexico, are they?
Gentrifying.
Everybody in my hallway when I lived in a high rise was from somewhere in Latin America. I had one Chinese person moved in next door, but other than that, they're all from Latin America.
Yeah.
Lots of them from other cities. They're paying the same rent I'm paying.
Yeah.
If I'm a gentrifier, are they also a gentrifier, or do you not count them because they're from Mexico?
Because they're from somewhere. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's the question. I would love to know.
No one ever wants to talk about that.
Mm-mm. They don't.
Mm-mm.
But yeah, so it seems to be more whites than anything. No, that's not been my experience. When I first came down here and got residency in 2022, I had a couple of white friends. I'll be honest. There's a few Facebook groups, and there's one with a ton of people, and then there's also Black in Queretaro Facebook group. And that's actually where I met several folks when I first got here. But I make it a point to try to find my people wherever I go. But that said, you're going to see all kinds of folks. But here in my neighborhood, I see a lot of Asian folks.
Okay. Amina wrote this about San Miguel. I'm learning in San Miguel, the closer you are to Centra, the more whiteys they are. We live near a cheese factory now, only see a sprinkle of them. When I first read this, please get into my brain. When I first read this, I absolutely read this as Cheesecake Factory, as a cheese. And I was like, where would there be a cheese? There's a Cheesecake Factory in Querétaro.
There's one in Querétaro.
We have one in Mexico City.
Yeah.
But I was like, y'all got a Cheesecake Factory in San Miguel? I was like, where would that be? Where would they put
Where would they put it? Yeah.
They put a cheesecake factory. Okay, so no, a cheese factory.
Mm-hmm. Wine and cheese is a big thing here.
Yeah.
And I wish I could partake, but specifically with wine, my body just doesn't like it anymore.
Welcome to my menopause. Hi.
What?
Hi.
I can't metabolize alcohol anymore, y'all. It's great. So.
I had 2 drinks the other day over the course of 3 or 4 hours, and it took me a day to recover.
Yeah. For my birthday, my family planned a surprise party. It was lovely. And I had, throughout the night, 4 hours of eating and then we went to a wine bar afterwards. And I was so sick. I had maybe 3 glasses of wine. Maybe 3. I was so sick. Can't do it.
All right. At least it's not me. Joanna Elizabeth says she read Cheesecake Factory. I was like, I don't love the Cheesecake Factory, but I do like cheesecake.
Yeah.
And finding American style cheesecake is challenging.
It's hard.
Except unless you're going to a Costco or a Cheesecake Factory or something like that. Mm-hmm. So I was like, ooh, that would be challenging for me to live near a Cheesecake Factory.
Yeah.
But yeah. Okay. Back to questions. We're focused. We're on this.
Yeah.
We're on this. We are answering your question or whatever. Alley Cat has questions for you.
Okay.
What neighborhoods give the best mix of safety, culture, and convenience?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Let's back up a second.
Yeah.
Let's talk about your
What was that?
a sneeze. That was a man sneezing. I don't even know where it came from because there's no man in my apartment. There's no. That was a sneeze.
That was intense.
Right?
That was serious.
Okay. All right. Well, let's talk about. Let's
Is he
talk
okay?
about. No, I don't know. There's no one here, so I'm like, I don't know who or what.
He was
I,
struggling. Oh
I
God.
just heard a noise that sounded like it was coming from inside my apartment. So
Okay.
I don't. What sound travels?
It does. It does.
You mentioned having a real temperate climate. I leave my terrace door open all the time,
Mm-hmm.
and so it's nice that like I'm safe, and because you could there's a way to get into the apartment from my terrace door, but you would risk your life.
Yeah.
You know, people probably not, and it would have to be like the only people who get in would be my neighbors in this apartment building. My neighbors probably aren't risking their life to get into my apartment.
Yeah.
Probably. Anyhow, the sounds from outside because I leave the door open all the time. I'm looking out of a terrace, and the sounds are intense sometimes.
Yeah.
I hope that man made it.
I hope so too. That was a serious sneeze.
Yes. Okay. So for your apartment search or when you were looking for housing, let's talk about what you thought about with neighborhoods and how you considered them and how you ended up where you are.
Yeah. So this most recent move back here, I actually came with my mom because my mom was retired. And, when that man did his second term, I basically was like, yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead and finish my lease. I was living in Raleigh, North Carolina at the time. Shout out to the Exodus Raleigh Durham crew. And I was like, you know what? I think I'm going to go. And I talked to my parents about getting residency. I kind of explained the process as well as I knew it. And the only person that really expressed interest was my mother. I was like, cool, let's do it. And so keeping her in mind was central for me because she's never lived outside the United States. I have kind of bopped around a bit. I've lived in a few places. She has not. And one of the things that I do feel like Queretaro does really well is that it's what is it like? Maybe 1 million people in the municipality altogether, and it's a really nice mix of like colonial architecture, like the historical downtown area is really beautiful. There are areas of the city that have been beautifully preserved. You've got the aqueduct that kind of bisects the city that's really gorgeous. But then you've got Costco, you've got Home Depot, you've got, there's 15 minutes from my house is a Walmart. You know what I mean? Like, so there's certain things that feel familiar for someone who maybe hasn't left the US before. This is their first time. So it's a nice mix of the two. But for me, I wanted definitely safety for sure. We would be two women living on our own. And as far as convenience goes, I mean, culture, that's all around you. But convenience, for sure. I know my mom was like, I want to be able to walk to the shops. And where I am right now, 5 minutes this way is coffee shops, restaurants. It's like a cute little shopping center. And then like a 15-minute walk that way is where you get to the Home Depot, the Walmart. There's a La Roche-Posay store. It's like, one of those little football kind of stores, right? And so my neighborhood's very walkable. That was something we both wanted. We both wanted safety. We've got guards in multiple places. There's 4 buildings in my apartment complex, and each building has its own guard where you have to, sign in. And of course, like the actual gate out front. And this sounds like a small thing, but I actually really love it. We have nice sidewalks, like really nice sidewalks, right? Because, in other areas of the city, if there's a tree or if there's like, the roots, that root system is going take precedence. But we have beautiful areas where you can, take a walk, and it's quite safe. And so, yeah, those were the things that I was looking for. I will say that if I had come down here by myself, I might have chosen a different neighborhood, because this neighborhood, while all of those things are amazing, there are not a lot of, like, I'm a single woman. There's a lot of families, a lot of couples, a lot of like people who have settled, Um, and so, like, there are other areas of the city that feel a little bit more bustly, but this is very, um, what's the word? Homey. It's very much like this is where people have come to kind of settle down. Yeah.
Okay, real quick. I know I said it was okay, but the audience is asking that we move the fan a bit.
The audio. Okay. Yeah. Got it.
So, we'll get more. Okay. You see her nice fridge? Let's look at her kitchen. Did your apartment come with the
fridge? Mm-hmm. Yeah, it did. It came with all appliances, which was lovely. And it also came with a dishwasher, which is something that most people don't, that's not a thing here. And so, yeah.
No, yeah. My last apartment came with a hole for a dishwasher. And my landlord was like, if you want one, you can put one in. And I was like,
okay. Yeah.
Someone else in my building was moving out and he was selling a dishwasher. I'm like, so you put one in and now you're leaving and you're like, I need to get rid of it. I didn't buy it, but very much that kind of like, you're going to get a hole. Like I had a hole for a fridge, but no fridge.
Okay.
So yes, that's nice. All right. Back to the questions. Okay. So let's actually finish this one up for Alley Cat.
Mm-hmm.
Hurakia is where you landed.
Mm-hmm.
What other place, can you name 3 other neighborhoods where you would have felt like, where you think you would have enjoyed living there based on your criteria that you mentioned before?
Sure. I think, most of the places that we were shown were in the Hurikia area, but I have friends and connections who've lived in Zipata. Okay. And let's see, El Marquez. And Milenio Tres. Milenio Tres is a little bit closer to downtown, but El Marquez and Zibata are like more east.
Okay. You live in Juriquilla, which is Juruquilla. Is that right?
Yeah, Juruquilla. Yeah.
Spell Zipata for me.
Zibata, I believe.
Ziba. Okay. And then what were the other 2? You mentioned?
El Marquez.
I can get that one. Okay.
And Milenio Tres.
Milenio Tres. Okay. So I'm going to put this down there as neighborhoods, friends.
Folks to check out. Yeah.
I spelled everything in Spanish right, but then check didn't come out correctly. Okay. All right, so that's in there now. So there's some neighborhoods you guys should be checking out.
To have a look at.
Criteria sounds like her criteria, and you are thinking of Queretaro. Those are some neighborhoods to check out. All right, I hope Alley Cat, I hope we answered that question. And now she has another question.
Okay.
What's the healthcare situation? Clinics, hospitals, English-speaking doctors. Now, your mom left because of a medical thing, right?
Yeah. So this is actually a great question because I got a crash course in it last fall. So I've had dental work done here. So when I first came down, I was having horrible headaches and went to a dentist because it felt like it was starting like back here, in my jaw. And I got my wisdom teeth removed, and that was actually a really great. And I know that's weird to say, it was great, but it really was. I was able to have the whole thing done. I was put under because I'm terrified of the dentist. They gave me all of the items that I would need for recovery. right? Like they gave me like the Bexident. It's like a gel that you can put to, and they were like, you should take vitamin C because that'll help speed up the healing process. It was actually really great. And the dentist that I have, he and his team, there's at least a few people on his team that speak English. And so that was a really good experience compared to other dental experiences I've had in the States. But as far as like hospitals and the medical situation, there's at least 2 private hospitals here, one of which is actually 5 minutes down the road from me. And I know about their situation because my mother got really sick. And actually, she had been dealing with something for a while, but we weren't quite sure what it was. Long story short, basically, she came down here, and I was so excited to hang with her. Within 48 hours, she had a fainting spell. So we took her to the emergency room. They saw her immediately. It was like we were with our lawyer, our facilitator at the time, and she was able to kind of help with translating. But the main doctor that we worked with that time actually did speak English, which was great. And at least one of the nurses spoke English as well. And then from there, she continued to have it was a fainting spell. There were moments where I would ask her a simple question like, hey, do you want to do this or this? Would you prefer X or Y? And she couldn't answer my questions. Mm-hmm. So we realized that maybe she needed to go to a neurologist. And one of the great things about being here is that you don't have to wait for a referral from a GP or anything like that. You can just go straight to the doctor and get the tests that you need. And she was able to do that. And they found a meningioma in her frontal lobe. And so she fainted again. And we took her to the emergency room again. She stayed overnight. And the reason why we decided to take her home was not necessarily because of the care that she received here. She actually received excellent care here. But the fact that we were so far from family, we weren't quite sure what the recovery process would look like for her. And for me being here alone, but my dad and my brothers are in Florida, and are in the States. It would be easier for folks to come and care for her if we decided to take her home. And her health insurance, the insurance that she had at the time, did not cover anything here. And that would have been quite an expense out of pocket. And so with all of that in mind, and a few other things too, we just decided taking her home was the better option. And so she has been recovering beautifully. And yeah, so that was the experience that I had. But the hospital that is here in my neighborhood was wonderful. They had English speaking staff. And yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. I hate to hear about that, about your mom, but I'm glad she was able to figure out what it was, get it diagnosed, and get care for it. And how long was she in Mexico before she went back?
A month and a half.
Okay.
Maybe.
Yeah. Were her symptoms more? I'm curious about how she got, like, the fact that she got diagnosed here, but not in the US, right? And I'm sure this wasn't something that developed in the month.
Right.
There, right? So was it that her symptoms just got worse when she was in Mexico, or?
Yeah. Okay. And, the doctors here were saying, the reason why you probably didn't notice anything major is because it was a slow growing tumor. And it had gotten to the point where it was pressing on areas of her brain that were affecting her everyday life, like her ability to answer simple questions, her ability to walk, like different things like that. And so, yeah. And that's a frustration that I kind of have with the American medical system in particular, especially with elders. I feel like sometimes you see things like, I had conversation with my family, as she was healing, And they would say, well, there was that one time that she did this and it was a little bit different, but, we kind of laughed it off or whatever. Or, and then there was this other time that this happened, right? So that hindsight, you're like, oh, there were signs. But
Right.
she had a doctor. She was going to the doctor on a regular basis. And the only thing I can think of is that they were probably just saying, oh, this is just getting older. This is just a part of getting older. You are a little forgetful, or maybe your balance is a little bit off. But it's like these are things to look into.
It's not. It could be getting older, but it could be something else.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, I'm really glad the doctors at the hospital weren't just like,
whatever. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
They were great.
Yeah. And I really sorry this happened to you, but I do think that it is a reminder that for people who think that they can't get good health care outside of the US, or they're not going to be able to, that's a reason for them not to leave. It's like the doctors outside the US listen to you in ways that and they don't just kind of write it off as like, black, right? Like, or old or woman. So like,
right.
These things don't matter, or like, it's just natural progression. Like, they really listen. I haven't been used to.
Yeah.
So.
Absolutely.
Nadwella B wants to know if your mom will come back one day.
Yes. We're actually discussing that right now. I know she wants to come back this fall. Right now, she's visiting family in Houston. I told her I was doing this, but I realized I didn't give her the link. So I don't know if she's watching right now, but if she is, hi, Mom. But yeah, she's planning on coming back. And it's really funny, like the administration, listen, in the short time that she was with me, everywhere I went, people loved her. People would go out of their way to say hello to her. People would hold doors for her, would look out for her. That's another huge difference I see in the culture here versus the United States, especially with elders. There's a reverence and a respect for elders that you just don't see to that extent in the States. And that was something that was really, really sweet. And like, I'm a part of the compost program here at my apartment. And, every month I go and I pay the little fee to participate. And every time I go down, they say, how are you? How's your mother? When is she coming back? How is she doing? Please tell her we say hi. And it's just been really sweet, that people have been looking out for.
The reverence for seniors and the love of children. It's like, if you're in the middle,
they don't.
Socially, it's like, girl, whatever. We're the children, or where is the elder, but is usually with you because you don't. And maybe even where's the pets.
That part.
I mean, if it's just you, I'm still speak to you, but like, could you bring the ones we really want to see?
Yeah.
Slow down. Okay. All right. I always think of Queretaro as being more. There are parts of Queretaro that are very much styled like American suburbs. And so I think it's a great place for people who like a suburban feel. Querétaro is one of the best cities in Mexico to get that.
Yeah.
Let's see. I saw the question somewhere. Let me see if I can find it now. Super Skirt said, y'all got an HEB?
Yes, ma'am, we do.
More than one, right?
Yeah. I get my groceries delivered from HEB often. Yeah.
When you came up in May, after you came up, I was like, I should ask her to go to HEB for me. I forgot because I bought some gluten-free mixes of their that they have. And I made one the other day and I was like, I need more of these. I need someone from Querétaro to come to Mexico City.
Let me know.
With big giant box.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, every time I go to Queretaro, I go to HEB. But there's also, and there's Cheesecake Factory. There's a lot of American brands.
Mm-hmm.
There are a lot of Canadian brands. You know, they got
Mm-hmm.
the Tim Hortons and the
Costco.
whatever.
Yeah.
They have the Costco. I know I saw. I always forget the name. The Purple Gym.
Planet Fitness?
I saw Planet Fitness there.
I haven't seen a Planet Fitness here yet.
It was in a mall or a
Okay.
shopping center.
Okay. Yeah.
I was like, "Is that's a Planet Fitness?"
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What are the pros besides getting all the HEB deliciousness? What are the pros of living in a place that does have very kind of what we're used to, like American components?
Yeah. I think the major pro is familiarity.
Mm-hmm.
There's something to be said when you're living in a new country, living in a new place, having certain things that feel like home, that remind you of home. Um, I would say that's the biggest pro to me, is like I can go into the grocery store, I can go into the HEB and see things that feel familiar. Um, I don't know why, but my immediate thought went to like Tim Hortons. There's also a lot of Tim Hortons here too. But is that Canadian? I
That's
think
Canadian.
Canadian.
That's Canadian.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. And so yeah, that's the biggest pro. It's like, okay, I get this, I see this, I understand it. It's great.
Okay. All
Mhm.
right. I think it's also good if you are a person who wants to. I think one of the pluses of Querétaro is if you're a person who wants a full suburban experience, including driving. It's
Yeah,
it's a city for that.
it is a city for that.
That is a question that has come up multiple times here, but
Okay.
is having a car a necessity?
I don't have a car. That said, like if I'm going downtown to my dentist's office, or the times I've gone to immigration, whatever, I'll get an Uber. I'll do rideshare, and that's very affordable. But other than that, like I don't have a car, so yeah, to get around, yeah, Uber, public transit. Um, when I go to the airport, I'll use a private driver, just because, especially if it's a very, very early flight, I would just prefer to have someone that I know, that I've worked with before. Public transit, yes, they have buses here. The city is not large enough to have like a subway system or anything. So there's public transit there, there's taxis, there's Uber, there's DD, which is another rideshare app.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
Okay. How far away is the airport from where you are right now?
About a 35, 40-minute drive. Yeah.
All right. Compare the traffic in Querétaro to another city in the U.S., to a U.S. city. What would you compare it to?
That's a good question. To be 100 with you, I haven't had moments where I've just had to sit in traffic horribly. Like I could count on one hand in the past year where I've had to just sit in traffic.
Mm-hmm.
I would not, like, of course, people who live here who drive a lot would probably complain. I've seen online people complaining about the traffic, but to me, it's not that bad. Like if you were to compare it to Miami or Atlanta or Houston or any major, to me, it's not that bad.
Okay. All right. Let's see. What are the questions we have that are not about a car? There's the car part, but there's also a Spanish part. So, how's your Spanish?
My Spanish is not great, I'll be honest. And that said, I try to speak, and then people will respond to me in English.
Mm-hmm.
And that happens to me everywhere I go. And so people are very accommodating. People are very kind. If I have to break out the Google Translate on my phone, then that's just what we do, and it's not a big deal. In fact, at my dentist's office, I'm with a different same office, different dentist, and she has limited English. I have limited Spanish. And so if there's something more that we want to say, we break out the translator and it is what it is. So yeah, it's good to know some phrases. It's good to know at the very least, hi, how are you? Thank you so much. I need X. Where's the bathroom? Whatever. Like little phrases like that for sure. But it's my lack of Spanish has not kept me from doing anything I need or want to do here.
Okay. I think it's so funny because any place I go, if there's an English speaker, even if I'm speaking in Spanish, if there's an English speaker, they're going to go get the English speaker. And I'm like, no,
Yeah.
I want to do this in Spanish. I want to try to do this in Spanish. And they're like, no, let us show off our English speaker. But at the same time, people will say like, oh, you need to practice your Spanish more.
Yeah.
When? If y'all keep plopping.
How is that going to happen?
English speaker on me.
Yep.
When do I get to?
That's literally my life.
Yeah.
Like literally everywhere I go.
Everywhere you go, if there is an English speaker, they're going to be like,
they're going to bring that person.
Come on. Come on. We got another one. Come on.
Yeah.
Is there a lot of English spoken in your neighborhood?
No. Okay. Like people can, like, the administrative office, the ladies there, at least 2 of them speak English and they speak to me in English. But like the guards, they don't speak English. I greet my neighbors in Spanish. They greet me in Spanish, even if they're Japanese or Korean or whatever. Yeah.
Okay. So Jalen asks, what is the HEB? No, if you're not from Texas, sometimes it takes a while for that to kick in. And the rest is a grocery store. But it's more than a grocery store. I don't know how to explain it. It's like, especially I find with a lot of shopping in Mexico, like traditional Mexican stores are like you go and you get one thing here, one thing here, and you get one thing here. And to have a store that has like everything
in one place,
right? That's not a Walmart. Is really nice.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And the Black and Queretaro group, they have pancake breakfasts at the HEB up here. I have not been able to go because I still work like a regular job, and they meet at like 10:30 in the morning. But it's a regular, so they go to HEB and they have breakfast and they meet together and they practice their Spanish and the whole thing. Yeah.
This is on a weekday.
This is on a Monday. Yeah.
It's very unemployed behavior. That's very unemployed, and I like it. That was complimentary, not derogatory. That's very unemployed behavior.
It's great. I'm employed, and so the hours work. When the U.S. falls back, because this is another thing I love. I know this is kind of off topic, but it's another thing I love about living in Mexico, is that they no longer spring forward and fall back anymore. We don't do that anymore. And so right now, I am 1 hour ahead of the headquarters for my job. But then when they fall back, I will be 2 hours ahead.
Oh.
And I'll have my mornings to myself.
That's nice.
Before I have to like get into the meetings and do all the things. So I love that.
I like it. The part I struggle with is knowing what time. I do everything on Eastern time.
Eastern time.
Right? Okay. And so knowing when it's Eastern time and also knowing when the time has changed, because we're not talking about the U.S. time change in Mexico, right? Like it's not like on the news or a conversation like that. No one saying don't forget to move your clocks back,
right? And
so every once in a while, I'm like, if I go live at 11 a.m. on Eastern time, what time is that?
Yeah.
What time is that? And every once in a while, I'm like, I feel like it's around the time of a change.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's fine. let's see.
I had a very embarrassing time change moment earlier this week because, again, my family lives in East Coast time. My work is in West Coast time. So I'm constantly kind of juggling back and forth. And I had set up time to talk to one of my good friends. And we, for whatever reason, she said around 5 my time. She's in Florida. And I was like, okay, cool. So that'd be around 7 my time. Okay, perfect. And it was not.
I did that the other day.
Wrong.
I went forward instead of going backwards.
It's like, oh my God. It was so.
Free your time. Yes.
What is going on? I blame it on Mercury retrograde. Mercury retrograde just ended like yesterday. So.
Michelle said she realized on the time zone app on my phone. See, the thing is, when I'm doing this, I have to plan for tomorrow. So the time zone clock app isn't helping me you know what I mean? Like if I'm planning, if it's Wednesday and I'm planning a live stream on Sunday, because if the time changes, usually on a Sunday morning.
Yeah.
You know, what time? When am I supposed to? Whatever. Okay. So back to the questions. Texas Golden Girl says, hello, what other Mexican states or other countries do you consider? Do you see Querétaro more permanent, long-term, or a temporary destination for you?
Well, when I first decided to look at Mexico, I did like a little tour. I went to Guadalajara and then went to San Miguel de Allende and then came here to Querétaro and was supposed to go on to Mexico City just to try to get an idea, because these were the places that I saw folks on YouTube, on Facebook, in Exodus Summit, in the Exodus group, most women talking about these places. And so I was like, okay, cool. So those were the cities that I considered. Do I see Querétaro more permanent or long-term? I see Querétaro as a really comfortable home base for me. I've realized over the years, like, bopping around is fun, and I tend to be a little bit more of a slow traveler. I saw that you did a post on slow travel earlier this week. And when I say slow, I mean like tortoise, turtle, sloth. Like I'm there for like 6 months or more, But that said, I prefer having a place that it just feels very calm and very chill. And Querétaro is a pretty calm and chill place. And then I can go, have whatever adventure I want to have, and then come back to a place that like feels like it regulates my nervous system, And so that's how I see Querétaro for right now. Long term, I don't know. I've come back here twice, so it must have something, But I don't know how long I'll be here. I've been getting itchy feet, so I'm excited to travel a little bit this fall.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Stephanie wants to know if Querétaro has been a softer landing, but if you start out in Mexico City, or you can just answer if it was a soft landing for you.
Oh, definitely. Okay. Definitely. The first time I came here, I actually met up with a woman from the Black in Querétaro Facebook group, and she was lovely. And she became one of my pals. We would go to lunch together. I met her sons. Like, it was a whole thing. She has since moved. She actually moved to Colombia, I think.
Oh.
But like that said, absolutely. I think it's definitely a soft landing. Mexico City is amazing. I love it. But I've also lived in New York City. I lived in New York for 6.5 years in my late 20s and into my 30s. And it was intense. And I kind of look at Mexico City like the busyness, the bigness of New York, but with nicer people. And so, yeah, I do. I think it has definitely been a soft landing for sure.
Okay. All right. Florida Living wants to know why you didn't choose San Miguel.
I was in San Miguel for about 5 days. And while I liked it, as our friend earlier said, there were a lot of white people. There were a lot of white people. So that was kind of a turnoff. Um, and I had a couple of experiences there that I also am a little woo woo, I'll be honest. And the way I felt in San Miguel was not comparable to the way I felt in Querétaro.
Okay.
And I wanted the, like, as soon as because I took a bus from San Miguel into Querétaro, and it was just like, it was like my body just kind of exhaled a little bit. And I kind of took that along with like some of the other experiences I had in the city as a sign that it was like, this is where I want to be. So yeah.
Okay. Is there more of that feeling when you can share besides your body exhaled?
Mm. I don't know. I know that like San Miguel is incredibly popular, and I think I had a certain expectation of my experience there that I just didn't get. Um, and it like something at the time. Now this is back in like 2022, late 2021, early 2022. It just felt off.
Okay.
It just felt off. And so I decided to keep it moving.
Okay. All right. Let's see what else. How else we can help people. How easy is it to find furnished rentals that aren't overpriced? Let's talk about
Yeah.
rentals and pricing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, what are you seeing out there?
Well, my apartment now it includes all like it was fully furnished, and it includes all the utilities that I pay, um, and like the amenities here have been amazing too. I also pay maintenance, and all of that together is less than my rent was in Raleigh when I lived in North Hills.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just rent, not including utilities and other aspects of just living. And so I would say, how easy to find rentals that are not overpriced? I have to say, do your own research too. That was a mistake that I made when I came down here the first time. I realized that I was overpaying by about 5,000 pesos a month. Um, and it was because I depended on the realtor to just kind of let me know instead of also like, yeah, listen to them. They know like the city, but also look at Airbnb. Look at there's a site. It's called, I think it's Inmuebles
Inmuebles 24.
24,
Yes.
right? And some of the other sites that are available to kind of see where things are landing. And so but yeah, I had a moment where I was being overpriced. And I found out because I looked at some other websites. And of course, this was after I had already signed the lease and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's what I would suggest. But it's relatively easy to find furnished rentals. Like that was not a struggle either time when we came here.
Okay. I find that a lot of Mexicans think that there's no amount of pesos that is going to bother an American.
Mm,
No.
yeah.
No. I like my money in my pocket. But there's a thing that happens that I hate. I hate is when someone tells me the price of something and I'm surprised and they're like, but it's pesos. And I'm like, oh no, I know it's pesos.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to give you that many
And it's
pesos.
still expensive. Yeah.
Pesos are real. Like we're not going to act like pesos aren't real money. It's real money.
Exactly.
But it's pesos. And I'm like, yes.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't confused about that. I was confused about why it's so many
Mm-hmm.
pesos. But the idea that like it's pesos. It's pesos.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no. So, your realtor might have been like, what's 5,000 pesos to her?
That part.
Money in your pocket.
That.
Right?
Yeah. It was definitely annoying when I learned about it. And then I remember going to lunch with a friend, and then she drove me back to my apartment. This is when I lived in Centro Sur.
Mhm.
And she asked me, she's like, "Oh, I've never seen this place. It's new. It's a new build." Okay. She's like, "Do you mind if I ask you how much you pay?" And I think she had been looking at the time, her and her husband. Her husband's Mexican. And I told her, and she looked the look that she gave me. I was like, "Oh,
So,
yeah." And she was
yes.
like, "And is that including any utilities, anything?" I said, "No." She was like, there's nothing around. There's nothing around you. You don't even have a corner store." I was like, I know. So definitely do your research.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
When I moved in here, even his realtor was like, "Girl, the price is too high." And I was like, "Yes, but I don't have a place to live."
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's less than like, I think I had like 3 weeks to move, and I was
Mm-hmm.
like, "So I'm gonna have to pay," because every place I've been, the price has been every place I've been,
Everyone. Yeah.
the
Yeah.
price has been too high.
I will say, working with our facilitator this time, I was definitely really firm. And I had done a little bit of research on my own, specifically in this area and some other
Mhm.
areas. Um, but I know, like, one thing I will say for me, the experience of the internet and Wi-Fi going out for hours and sometimes days at a time, I could not have that again.
Okay.
I work remote. I couldn't have that again,
Yeah.
So, yeah, I was like, I can't do that. So I knew that if that was something that was an absolute must, that it was likely that I would be in a place where I might pay a little bit more. But that said, I made sure that utilities were included, and some other things, and that it was at a price point that I could handle on my own, because my mother had just retired, and I didn't want her to feel like, I was like, "Listen, if you're going to be down here hanging out with me, I don't want you to worry about anything." And so I made sure that this was a situation that I could handle. And actually, thank God, because of what ended up happening, she
Mhm.
went back home anyway. And, here we are. So,
Okay.
mhm.
Um, Rentals, pricing. Someone mentioned looking in Facebook groups about
Yeah.
dinero, and that's a great idea.
Mhm.
Use your judgment so you don't get scammed, because they are out there scamming.
Yes, they are.
They are out there scamming. So you have to do a little bit of research to make sure that
Yeah.
you're, especially, I find that more in Facebook groups than I do on like sites
Hmm.
lists. You
Yeah.
know, I didn't pay anything until I was standing in the apartment. The realtor was there, the owner was there,
Hmm.
their lawyer, our collective lawyer for the transaction was there
Yeah.
before I paid anything.
Mm. And things are negotiable. That's
Yeah.
another thing to keep in mind too. It's different. That's a major difference that I see from the States. Renting an apartment in the States, what's there is there. I didn't know for years that it was possible to kind of like
Mhm.
ask questions and negotiate, but here it's expected.
Yeah.
So
Unless you rent from my landlord, who was like, nothing's negotiable.
no, she
No, like, no,
what?
his realtor represented him, was like, this is not how
This is
it's
not
going to go.
normal.
This is not. She was like, this is not.
Oh,
There are multiple times where she was like, if you'd walked away, I'd have been like, I get it. I get
yeah.
it. So, yes, it's usually really negotiable. However, I ended up in a situation where I didn't have enough time. Looking over the holidays, it's a very hard time to find places to rent.
Yeah.
And Angie brings up something that impacted my experience. I don't know if it impacted yours.
Okay.
She often hears it's hard to rent in Mexico. How was your experience? Was insurance, guarantors, or multiple months of rent required up front? Did you
Mm.
have to do any of that?
That's a good question. Okay, so we there were a few places where they were like, you have to have a guarantor, you have to do this. It's like a search where it's like an FBI background check,
Mhm.
but obviously it's not FBI because you're in Mexico, but it's a background check that they expect to do, um, and you have to pay out of pocket for that.
Mhm.
But my lawyer was like, I don't understand. Like, there's no reason for you to do it because you don't have a background here. There's nothing there. Um,
Mhm.
and so we decided, like, I don't want to have to deal with the guarantor situation, the background check situation. Um, and so that was another thing that we said, like, we would prefer to find places where that's not something we have to deal with, and they were able to find it for us.
Okay.
But it is a thing. It is a thing, like, to consider.
So for me, I would say that I don't think I went to a place. I don't think I saw a place in Mexico City where they didn't require a guarantor. Some of
Mm,
them I was like, well, if I give you 2 months deposit, will
yeah.
that instead? And they would be like, okay. But
Mhm,
that's form this channel. Some places wanted an insurance policy,
mhm.
a guarantor, and a cosigner. And I was like, any one of
A
those
lot.
is enough to get
Right.
your
That's a lot.
right. And so for everyone who does not know this, I don't know what it is in Querétaro, but when I say guarantor, a guarantor in Mexico City has to own property in
Yes.
Mexico City or
Mhm.
possibly in the state of Mexico, and they have to pledge their property on behalf of your rent payment.
Oh, I did not know that.
So is that so you don't know, but it happens, or you don't? It's not part of the process in Querétaro.
It's not that it's not part of the process in Querétaro. I specifically asked for places where that was not necessary, and
Okay.
I paid at least like first month's rent a deposit. Like I did things up
Yes.
front
Yeah.
to where that was not a
Yeah.
need. Hmm.
So for me, and one of the reasons I ended up paying more than renting a place that was known to be overpriced,
Hmm.
because they were like, insurance policy is all you need. And I was like, well, all
Yeah.
these other places, there are some places where I was like, I don't have a guarantor. Can I pay
Hmm.
twice the security deposit? They'd be like, and an insurance policy, right? And
Right.
for anyone who's not used to this, the insurance policy pays your rent if you don't pay the rent,
Yeah.
right? So the landlord's going to get paid if you have an
Hmm.
and they would be like, no, if you don't have a guarantor, get away from me. And I'm like, I make it. It is a system that in some ways is rigged, not intentionally. It's just historically been like this. It's rigged for rich people, right?
Yeah.
I know someone who, when you own the property, it has to be owned outright with no mortgage. You own a property outright
Uh-huh.
with no mortgage, but you're willing to pledge on behalf of someone's rent.
In order to be a guarantor,
Who's doing that? Besides rich people who own multiple properties.
for properties. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was something I remember saying, like, I don't want a lot of the extra. I'm willing to put forward the money
Hmm.
in order to secure the place. But the guarantor situation, no. I mean, I don't want to speak for certain people. I feel like I could have gotten it if I needed to, but why if there's another way
Yeah.
around that situation, you know?
And the cosigner in every situation, when I came to a cosigner, the cosigner had to be a Mexican citizen.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, right, like I'm left then with the insurance policy and maybe some extra cash up front.
Yeah.
That's all
Pretty
I
much.
got. That's all I got.
Can I say something? Like, another thing that was really interesting was when my mother was in the hospital here, the neurosurgeon
Hmm.
he came in, we were talking with him about everything, right? And then he also, just kind of threw at us, oh, and we'll need a guarantor cosigner kind of person that is a Mexican citizen,
Hmm.
And I was like, I know we're foreigners, but we're residents. Like, I showed him my resident card. I showed him my mom's. I was like, we live 5 minutes up the road. Like, we live here.
Hmm.
That was the first time I had ever heard of that type of expectation or that type of, like, situation at a hospital.
Yeah.
Oh, we need a Mexican citizen that can sign and say that you will pay.
So what did you guys do in that situation?
We took her home.
Okay, so it was only if you were going further with the medical
Yeah.
care. Okay.
Hmm. Hmm.
All right. Yeah, no. If this isn't this, so Michelle says it sounds like we put these unnecessary things in place and we don't actually want to rent to foreigners. No, it really is. A lot of cities in Mexico are very much. This is the way it's always been,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and a lot of them are very classist cities, and so I'm only. This place is only available to rent for rich people, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not about foreigners or not foreigners. It
Yeah.
really is. These are the requirements in place for everybody, and I'm not going to change them just because you're not from here, right?
Yeah.
I'm not going to change them just because you don't know somebody who owns property without
Right.
in here, right, in the city or the state of Mexico, state of yeah, and that you're who's willing to pledge the property in case you default on your
Right.
1 year lease, right?
Yeah.
The co-signer has to be a Mexican citizen.
Mexican
There's no,
citizen.
you know what I mean? Like, there's no. That's not about
American or not or anything.
out. That's just right. That's
How they do it.
that's how we've done things forever.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, these aren't new requirements. This isn't like anti-foreigner. It is just
How it's done.
how it's done.
Mm-hmm.
It's pro wealthy Mexican people because that's
Mm-hmm.
who has been renting.
Yeah.
You know.
And you know, it's funny, like I go and get my nails done. I've been going to the same person for a while and she's wonderful. And, you know, at one point when I was talking about like trying to find a place and she was like, yeah, there are places here where you can, you know, it's like 10,000 pesos a month. Like it's, I'm sure you'll find something. It's fine. But I wanted to keep in mind, right, being a good neighbor and being a good foreigner, and decided that I wanted to live in a neighborhood that was going to be comparable
Mm-hmm.
in a way to something I would have had or experienced back in the States. And because of that, it's also kind of, you know, avoiding the gentrification conversation, or at least trying to on my end. And it's a reason why I chose the area that I did. But when you choose more affluent areas, you are going to pay more. It just, it is what it is.
I went to an event last night and everyone in there was not a single word of English spoken the entire night unless I said something because like it ended up being, it was a long time, so my brain short circuited and every once in a while the word would just be English because that's all I got. And they were talking about the rent prices they were paying, and I'm trying to keep my jaw from hitting the floor because they're so low. But at the same time, I'm like, I see why it's low. You don't have, your sink is a small tiled area, with a hole in the bottom, and your stove is one burner.
Yeah. If that. Yeah.
I get it.
A fridge that's like half the size, and
right.
You know.
So like there are ways to live very inexpensively.
Absolutely.
But
and you
get what you pay for.
Yeah.
I looked at that sink last night like I don't think you can get a pot in, like you could not get like a if you cook spaghetti in a big pot. You could not put the big pot in it.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, all right. But your rent is so low.
Oh, right.
It's like
you're like, it's like $500 a month, man. Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, when you talked about finding your place, you mentioned your facilitator and your lawyer. Your, I guess, your mom's residency facilitator helped with the apartment search?
Yes. And so I realized the way that I spoke about it, it sounds like 15 different people. It was actually not. Our lawyer that helped with the immigration process and all of that also connected us with a realtor that helped us find housing. She connected us with a lot of things, like just set up our bank accounts and all of that. She's very much kind of like full service. And I actually met her and connected with her through the Exodus Raleigh Durham crew. So again, like huge
Okay.
Huge support and assistance from them. And so, yes, her name is Mitch. She's amazing. She is the hardest working woman, but she's wonderful. And yeah, so she helped us with all of that stuff.
Yes.
Mhm.
Kat is reminding us that these are big city requirements. Not every city or town in Mexico is going to ask for all this. And then she also said she's in San Miguel. There are places like
Mhm.
San Miguel where you should absolutely not pay multiple months in advance. Here, it'd be a major red flag if that was a condition for renting.
Okay.
Maybe like we are fighting for our lives for housing in Mexico City. I don't know about Queretaro. And then Amina said she had a landlord, an owner in Mexico City who wanted a
Yeah,
policy as well.
policy.
She
Hmm.
told her no. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, you don't. Mm-mm.
Yeah. It really does depend on how bad you want the place and what you're willing to do
Yeah.
to get it, you know. But again, a lot of this stuff can and should be negotiable.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah. But supply and demand, y'all. Supply and demand. Housing.
hmm
Housing is doing what housing does. Y'all, any more questions for Sibi about Querétaro? Let's see. Mosun wants to know, how would you say you're perceived as a solo Black woman moving about the city? Are the locals receptive?
Yeah, like it's funny. I had a conversation with a friend about this last week. Like the perception of like a single woman, not specifically solo Black woman, but just a single woman of a certain age. Um, I am in a place where most people my age are married and have kids, and that's the life that they live. Um, but I think that there's a certain level of understanding because it's obvious that I'm a foreigner, and so those expectations are not quite as intense for me, I guess. But people have been kind, like they mind their business, which I love, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, but if I do need help, it's easy to get it. Um, People are kind and receptive, I would say. No one has been outright rude. No one has been mean spirited. Um, it's been a good experience so far. I definitely would not have stayed. I would not have come back if I had had some really horrible experiences here.
Okay. I guess which brings us to Valerina's questions, which is, what are the cons of living there?
Mm. Um, the cons. We already talked about the pet situation. Um, I if you're interested in dating, um, I can say that like since coming back here, I haven't dated, which is interesting. But also like I look around where I am, this is a place that's filled with families and married people. I'm 42. Most people that I'm surrounded by are settled. Um, and so there's that. Um, I don't know. What are some of the other cons? Mm, this is not really a con because it's on me, but like I know I need to learn more Spanish, and I know that my world will open up when I'm able to better communicate. And so, that's a major point for me, I think. But I feel like that's more like ego, like that feeling of like, oh, I can't say what I want to say here.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because most people, they're like, you're a foreigner or whatever, it's fine. Um, but to be 100 with you, any of the other cons, I feel like I found a way around them. And I feel like the question is good, but it also just depends on you. It depends on what you're looking for and what you're seeking. And for me, most of what I was looking for has been met here in this place.
Okay.
And so whatever like some people might consider a con, I'm like, that's a part of being here. That's a part of being a foreigner here. That's like, you know, Um, the banking situation was interesting. You know, like I had to go back a couple of times because my debit card didn't work. That was inconvenient. I think the bureaucracy can feel very inconvenient or like cumbersome, but I feel like that's kind of with any new place you move to. You kind of have to deal with that. Um, so yeah,
Okay. Do you mind sharing what bank you ended up with?
BBVA.
Child.
Don't tell me.
She had the big money bank, y'all. She had the big money bank.
Really? Is that what is considered a big money bank?
No, they're like the biggest in my brain. Maybe they're not the biggest, but I think they're the biggest, most established.
Okay.
Their fees.
Mm.
As someone who is not a person who banks with them, last time I tried to use an ATM, it was like 330 pesos to get money out.
What?
Is y'all giving me like gold bills? Is it Banamex 2 doors down was like 34 pesos.
34 pesos.
I said, okay.
Wow.
Me and Banamex go together.
That part.
Not BBVA.
Yeah. Well,
but you don't have that problem because you have a.
I have a BBVA little account. But honestly, like I only keep enough to pay, like to transfer, pay my rent. You know, I don't keep a ton. Most of my banking is in American banks. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Adelia says Banco Azteca is one of the easier ones.
Okay. I have not seen an Azteca branch here in Queretaro. Not yet. Yeah. I'll look for it though.
It's interesting because there are so many ways in which I know things are regional, and I know that Mexico still has regions, but banks not being everywhere is something where I'm still like,
how does this work? Yeah.
Y'all ain't got no XYZ over here? Or sometimes I go to a place and I'm like, what is this bank?
Yeah.
I've never seen this. It's regional. I know banks are regional, but still I forget sometimes.
Yeah.
Okay. So we've talked about cons, we've talked about pros.
Mm-hmm.
We've talked about how long you plan on being there. Let's see. What other questions do we have? Oh, Angie wants to know if a historic area is a good place to start her scouting trip.
Okay, you're coming in November. Aw, November's my birthday month. Scorpio. Is the historic area? Yeah, absolutely. It's beautiful. You know, a lot of folks coming to visit tend to stay in Centro, like the historic center or near the historic center, because yes, they have walking tours and all that good stuff. Another great thing about this area is that like there's vineyards, like there's a wine and cheese like tour that you can go on. And yeah, if you're interested in like historic spaces, Querétaro has that for you. Absolutely. I'm thinking about food. I mean, it's hard to get. I don't know about you, but like to me, it's hard to get really bad food in Mexico. It's just not a thing. Most of the food is really good. But like my favorite cafe is called Micaela Cocina and Cafe. And oddly enough, they have the best French toast I've ever had in my entire life.
Really?
It is delicious. It's like the thick. I compare it to Texas toast because that's like how big it is, you know. But it's like sprinkled with like sugar and cinnamon, and then they have like the fresh cream and like raspberry, strawberry. It is. I don't even put like syrup on it because it's that good. But all of their food is amazing, and so that's one of my favorite cafes to go to. I want to say La República is another restaurant that's really beautiful and the food's really good. I want to say Banal, but the problem is that Banal actually, I think they're rebuilding it. It burned down, but it was like an amazing seafood restaurant, which is kind of wild because like we're landlocked. So I'm like, how are they getting sea? But it was delicious. It was so good. So yeah.
I find like also landlocked, but this
Mm-hmm.
here, excellent.
Fabulous.
I feel like now, willing to be wrong about this. I'm not an expert. I'm just making it up. It feels like the supply chain is shorter than in the
Okay.
U.S. Right? Where in some landlocked places in the U.S. you might not eat certain seafoods, right?
Yeah.
But here it's like, y'all caught this morning, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
Someone somewhere
Mm-hmm.
caught this and put it on a plane. Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Maybe last night, maybe yesterday at like the most.
Yeah.
Yeah. The seafood's always really fresh. All right. More questions for you. Angie wants to know if it's harder to rent there without legal residency.
I'm thinking back to when I came here the first time in 2022. I found my apartment. I did not have residency. But I want to say that I think I paid an extra, what's it called? Like an extra, not fee, but
Deposit.
like deposit. Yes. I'm having full on perimenopause brain, y'all. The words are not coming. I paid an extra deposit and was able to get into the apartment. And it wasn't until I was there for at least like 6 to 8 months before I finished like the actual residency process. So it really just depends. It depends on who you're working with, and it depends on the request of the owner of the apartment. But I have not had any issues, or I didn't before I had residency.
Okay. And Kat wants to know, what's your social life like there? What's fun? Or what do you do for fun?
What do I do for fun? I have to be honest, I'm a little boring. I am a bit of a homebody, but when I do go out, I love going out to eat. I love going to movies with friends, like having a drink on a terrace or something. That's most of what I end up doing. Like there are places here where you can like dance and go out, but that was me in college. That's not me right now. So
Okay. All right. So sitting on a terrace with a cocktail, good time. And there's plenty of that to do.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Good. Yeah. Who would you say isn't a good fit for Queretaro?
I think someone who wants a bit more of like a bustling city life. I think Querétaro might be a little too slow. It might be a little too residential.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyone else?
Again, like I've the dating scene here, I've gone out a couple of times, but it's not, to me, it's not popping.
Okay.
But that said, that's also kind of like my deal. Like you have to go out and make yourself available, and I haven't really been I've been a little busy this past year.
Work.
Yeah, and then like the situation with my family and all of that, my focus has not been on dating. But the last time I was here, I went out a few times. But it's funny, like I feel like I'm at that age where most of the men that have approached me have been younger. They've been like in their mid to late 20s, which is interesting. And then I've also dated a guy in his 60s. So it's like I could date you or I could date your dad, whatever. You know what I mean?
Great age. It's a great age.
And so yeah, I personally feel like it's a city where most people, there's a settled quality here. And so if you are, interested in going out on the town and kind of like having a more metropolitan feel, I feel like Querétaro doesn't have that in spades the way that I think like Guadalajara or Mexico City would.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Do you make it to Guadalajara often? Because you're not that far, right? How far away are you?
Not that far, but I've only been there once.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. You should come for the Exodus Summit meetup on September 5th.
September 5th.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to, I'm going to be in the States on September 5th.
You're going to be in the States?
I'm going to be in Black Rock City, which is in Nevada. I will be at Burning Man.
Burning Man. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Someone else said the other day, they were, maybe it was you, said they're going to be at Burning Man during International Day.
Yeah, I was in heartbeat. I was like, I know this might be far-fetched, but like if any other Black women are going to be out there, I'd love to have
someone said in my live stream that they were going to be at Burning Man. So someone else in our community is going to be at Burning Man during Meetup Day.
Okay.
Is this going to be your first time at Burning Man, or have you been before?
No, I've been a few times. The first time I went was in 2019. I went by myself, met my campmates there. It was incredible. Mm-hmm. And I've been a few times since.
Yeah. Okay. Mm-hmm. What do you like most about it?
What do I like most about it? It's actually like, it's the freest I've ever felt just in my everyday life. And also, at least for me, one of the safest places that I've been. Like, I will go there and wear things that I would never wear in my regular everyday life here. And, kind of have incredible conversations. I think because it's an ephemeral place, like it's only there for the week and then it's gone. You can have really interesting conversations with people. And because like it's not focused on, like, people don't really ask you, what do you do out in the quote unquote real world? People are interested in who you are. And it feels in some ways, like I describe it as like an art, like a outdoor museum where you have these massive art installations and these incredible art projects that you can climb. It feels like being a kid in a very large playground where there's all these different things that you can see and do, and art that you can climb, and conversations you can have. Yeah, I think that's what I like about it the most.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing. Mm-hmm. You answered the first part of this question about climate earlier, so you can go back and watch the replay for that part. But crime in Queretaro, what is your take on crime in Queretaro?
I feel safer here than I did in the States. Mm-hmm. It's not even so much of like dropping 20 pesos on the floor and somebody running off with like that. Nothing like that has happened. I take Ubers all the time. I've never felt unsafe. Yeah, I would say like, but that said, like, I'm not sitting here watching the news, like trying to keep up on crime statistics, I'll be honest. Mm-hmm. But for me personally, and for my mother when she was here too, we felt quite safe, and we still feel quite safe. Yeah.
Okay. I don't have a handle on crime in Mexico in general, right? Like the other day I saw a video of a carjacking. And they were in Mexico. They were at I believe, a toll booth. So all the cars were stopped.
Okay.
And they forced the family out of a car. It was a Volkswagen, right? And I'm like, you're stopped in traffic, right? You know what's going, and you've just carjacked. What's going on here? Right? Yeah. It's not like they're like, ooh, here's a Ferrari, right? Mm-hmm. Or like a Mercedes. It's, like not an old, super old Volkswagen, but it wasn't like new either. And I'm like, I'm sure maybe it's a great car to sell for parts or something like that.
Yeah.
But like, you're also, everyone, like there's no escape route here. You're just Like the family got out, the mom took her purse with her and left the car.
Okay.
Like, got out of the car.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I don't have a handle on the types of crimes.
Mm-hmm.
You drop $20, 20 pesos on the floor in Mexico City, that money's gone.
Okay.
We are not going to throw it in that regard.
Yeah.
Yesterday morning, I was doing Tai Chi in the park, my very first time.
Oh, lovely.
Day. Tai Chi in the park. And we left our bags and everything left in a place and turned our back and went to a different area to go like hug a tree. We literally we're all around this tree. And I was looking over my shoulder like,
yeah, I would too.
Absolutely. And I don't think anybody else was.
Okay, now that's interesting.
And I'm like,
because to me, that's just common sense. You don't turn your back on your things. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't matter where you are.
But everybody else, and maybe it's the Tai Chi people are just a little more chill about that stuff, or they know what to bring and what not to bring because they do this all the time, right? But like everybody else is super chill, hugging the tree, eyes closed.
Yeah.
Head on the tree, so it's not. And I'm like, am I bringing America with me?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Or are y'all not really thinking through like what? Because we're in a huge public park.
Yeah.
So in that way, I'm always like, I don't quite understand when I need to be worried and when I don't need to be worried. Like I feel like I have a good sense of the things I do, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't drive a car, so I don't think often about what happens when someone wants
safety. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't leave my bag and walk to a different part of the park.
That part, that's actually really surprising to me, because to me, it's like, that's common sense. Not leaving things in a space where you can't see them.
The way I clocked it in my brain, we weren't far enough away that we wouldn't see it happening, but we would be far enough away that it was unlikely that we would catch up with a criminal, right? Like if someone picked up, because people are going by on bikes, someone picked up our stuff on a bike, they're gone. If they were running, we're barefoot hugging this tree. We are barefoot.
Having a real zen moment.
It doesn't allow dogs, so it's the barefoot thing. I felt a little bit easier about the barefoot thing. With there's no dog anymore. Squirrels probably, birds yes, but whatever. I'm Tai Chiing with the Tai Chi people,
right?
Yeah, we put our bags in 2 different times. We put our bags down, and we were not close enough to catch a thief.
To catch someone, yeah. I would find it very difficult to get into the practice if I had my back turned to my things.
I found it challenging, and I was like, but maybe that's a me thing I need to get over, and not I need to be aware of my surroundings at all times thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, okay, so next time I'm only going to bring things that fit into the pockets of whatever I'm wearing because.
Mm-hmm. Or maybe like a little fanny, what do they call them? Little fanny pack?
Fanny packs off, hats off. No.
Really?
No. Because how can you get your entire body against a tree?
Right. But you can't turn the little fanny pack around and hug.
I guess because we did front and back and sides. There was a point where we were kind of humping the tree too. Listen, I don't.
You had a very intimate moment with the tree.
The Tai Chi instructor was a bit of a sadist. He was like, after just the hitting our body against the tree, I was like, everything hurts. Like my hips hurt. Right? But I was told he's an acupuncturist, but I think he's also he does acupressure.
Okay.
Because he would you would be doing something wrong, and so he would come to correct you, but he would come to correct you and like put 1,000,000 pounds of pressure on a pressure point. And now I'm like
in pain.
Me and this other woman were there for the first time, and we would just keep, like it would just be like he'd just touch your wrist,
Mm-hmm.
and now I think you broke it. Like what was that? Like real deep pain.
Yeah.
He was like, press here, and so I pressed in here, and he was like, no. He comes and digs his fingers in, and it feels like they're going into
Your
my
eyeball. Oh, Jesus.
and I was like,
I thought Tai Chi was supposed to be, but
a
I guess
statist. That's why I think it's Tai Chi taught by a statist. Is my anyhow. All that to say, like I don't have a really good. My crime antenna is not a Mexican crime antenna.
Yeah, same. Yeah, I think sometimes like I remember when we met in Mexico City, and I think I had a conversation with Stephanie, and she had talked about like, because I got dropped off in an Uber, and we talked a little bit about Uber drivers, and she was like, I love talking about Uber drivers. I talk to them all the time. And I was like, ooh, I get into a car, they do not talk to me. But I think it's because I told you guys I lived in New York City for 6.5 years. And I moved to New York from Florida. And I had to learn really quickly, like riding the subway, riding in taxi cabs.
Talking to strangers.
You shut it down. You don't.
Yes.
And so I think I still kind of carry a little, I carry the resting bitch face that I learned. Yeah. And so people don't try me. They don't talk to me. Oh, but yeah.
Yes. Kat says, Merida, I do left his cell phone on the park bench. We circle back 30 minutes later, it was sitting right where he left it.
Right where he left it.
That was my experience in Thailand, in Chiang Mai. That was my experience. You could walk away from yourself and be right there when you got back.
Yeah.
Then I went to Vietnam on a visit. I was living in Chiang Mai for 3 months. I went to Vietnam for a couple of days. And I brought the Chiang Mai mindset to Vietnam, and I got robbed.
No.
Hand in my purse, robbed. No. Not like I left something out, but hand in my purse, robbed.
Jeez. Yeah. When I was teaching
about my hands in Vietnam.
Yeah. When I was teaching in South Korea, I lived in Jeju Island. Jeju Island is beautiful. But I lived in Jeju-si, which is like the main city. There's 2 cities, larger cities. There's Jeju-si in the north, and then Seogwipo in the south. And I lived in Jeju-si. In the downtown area, like the place where there's like shops and restaurants and stuff, everybody, especially younger people, tend to congregate there. And because of that, I would actually leave the island and go to Busan or go to Seoul if I wanted to party and have a good time, because I didn't want to run into my high school students in the club. That's a little weird. And one weekend I went to Seoul and spent a weekend, had a great time, went out with friends. I took a capoeira class, ate some good food, blah, blah, blah. And I left my cell phone in a cab, the cab that took me to the airport to go back home, and didn't realize that I didn't have my phone until like a day or 2 later. Do you know that some students found my phone? This was in Seoul. They found out my name and the school I worked at and mailed my phone to me. They contacted my co-teachers and said, we found teacher Siobhan's phone. They sent it to my school, and I was able to get my phone back.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Don't leave your
stuff. Don't be like me. Leave your stuff.
Don't leave your stuff. Okay, so if you left your phone in Queretaro, what do you think would happen? In a taxi cab in Queretaro, what do you think would happen?
If I left it in a taxi cab in Queretaro, I think I would be able to get it back, but it would probably be a little bit of I would have to call. I have to figure out who to talk to. I think depending on how long, I would not expect it to still be around and available after 48 hours. I'll put it like that.
Okay.
Just to me, common sense. I was surprised that I was able to get my phone back when I lived in Korea and that whole thing happened. that was shocking to me. But here, yeah, if I were able to, I think if I were able to say, hey, did you see a phone, then I would be able to get it back probably within a day. But more than that, I don't know. I'd probably expect it to be gone.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think if I left in a street taxi in Mexico City, that phone is gone.
That's gone. Yeah.
In an Uber, I think it's 70% gone, 30% chance of getting it back.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. We're not. It's unlikely.
Yeah, it's unlikely. Yeah.
Unlikely. We have a big black market for pre-owned phones. A lot of
Really?
people, when their phone gets stolen, if they look on like one of those Find My apps, it's always in the same place.
What? Wow. Okay.
There is a place where stolen phones go. You know what doesn't go there? Smart people. Smart people don't go there trying to get their phone back.
Trying to get their phone back. That's it.
People
Yeah.
go there trying to get their phone back.
Oh, jeez. So what's the process? Like, how do you?
Of what?
If your phone ends up in that particular place, you just say, all right, well, my phone it's done. It's gone.
I know people who've been like, I know the exact stall it is, so I'm going to take a police officer there to get it back. And people be like, don't do that.
Don't do that.
Don't do
Okay. Yeah.
Go on ahead and get a new phone.
Yeah. Okay.
Because the black market for stolen goods isn't really the place to go and be like,
Mm-hmm.
give me my shit back.
Give me my shit back. Yeah.
They're committing crime daily.
Mm-hmm.
You're probably new to this crime life, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're new to this crime life. They're committing crimes daily. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe let that
Chop
go.
it up. Go get a new one.
Go get a new phone.
Yeah.
Yeah. But because we have an existing place where people know, like, this is where stolen phones go, that's why I think you would, like, it's so easy to sell a lost or stolen phone here then.
Yeah.
I don't think you get it back.
Okay.
Mm-mm. No. Cheryl says she got her phone, left the phone in the back in a grocery store in Kuala Lumpur, got it back the same day. Our friend left her phone in a Uber in Panama, never got it back, and her phone and purse were pickpocketed. Yeah, you got to know the crime in the area you're going to.
Mm-hmm.
Kuala Lumpur, I'm not surprised you got it back. Malaysia? Yeah. Don't be criming over Malaysia. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Mm-mm. Now, okay, what haven't we covered?
I don't know if this is helpful, but we did family reunification.
Oh, okay.
We didn't do like the regular that regular process. So that was very different than the process that I went through for residency. And that was it was not easy. In particular, because my birth certificate. So in order to do family residency or family reunification, you have to prove that you're family and prove what the relationship is. And so I had to have like my birth certificate. My mom had to have her birth certificate. Those documents had to be authenticated, apostilled. They had to be translated, all of that. And that process, our facilitator / lawyer worked with us to get that done. But so I was born in Texas, and my original birth certificate did not have, there was a particular piece of information that my birth certificate did not have. And on top of it, the hospital I was born in, the name had changed. And so instead of like just being able to take that document and use it, I actually had to go. I originally asked for my birth certificate to be sent to me. It took too long, so I ended up going to Austin and getting the documents, going through that whole process. And so, if there are folks who have questions about the family reunification process, kind of how that works, I'm happy to answer those as well.
Okay.
But it was different. It was different from what you would normally do.
That's really helpful. Would you mind, how do you feel about sharing the name of your facilitator if it helped you?
Yeah. Her name
Or
is.
if you want to, you can share it in Heartbeat if you prefer.
Yeah, I can share it in Heartbeat.
Oh, I'm just saying that in case you don't want to put his info on the internet.
It's a woman. She's amazing. But she goes by Mitch. But yeah, she's wonderful, and I can put her information in Heartbeat. How about that?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Mhm.
So if you're searching for Queretaro facilitators and you see a woman named Mitch, Siobhan, cosigns,
Yep.
cosigns for Mitch.
Mhm.
If you want the contact information, Siobhan will put that in the Exodus Summit community. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Okay. Oh, Cheryl just shared this YouTube live with Mitch. I saw earlier, but she said she's working with Mitch, and I assumed Mitch was a man. I've never heard a woman that goes by Mitch. So,
To be 100, I haven't either until Mitch Mendoza. I have a theory, but it's my own personal theory. I think that she goes by Mitch because when you see it, you think of a man.
mhm.
And our biases
Yes.
are often unconscious, right? And so, but yeah, she's
Okay.
some of this. She's great.
All right. Awesome. Okay. Her name's Michelle, and she goes by Mitch. That absolutely does sound like she wants to go. She wants that bias in her favor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So we've talked about so much, y'all. Do you have any outstanding questions that we haven't asked? If so,
Yes,
get
please.
in now. I think there may have been one I wanted to get to. Oh, Akana wants to know, are there single Black men that you're seeing in Querétaro?
No. All the Black men that I have met have been not looking for Black women, or they're already partnered.
Yes.
They're already married. Yeah. So
Yes.
there's that.
Where's that?
And as far as for me, I definitely, I feel like if I'm in a new place, whether it's here or whether it was in South Korea or the U.S. Virgin Islands, I was there for a little bit. I'm going to be open to who's in front of me. Do you know what I mean? Like who lives in the place. So I don't fault them for that. If they've come to Mexico and they're interested in Mexican women, fine. But yeah, I have not met brothers here that are looking for Black women, and many of the ones I have met have already been partnered.
Yes. Most of the ones I meet here in general, kind of Mexico in general, but have a Black partner, came down with that Black partner.
Yes,
Most of the ones, I would say, not all, but most.
Mm-hmm. Your face.
I was thinking about how, like, I think one of the challenges for most Black women dating in Mexico, if you're dating Mexicans, is they have no idea how old you are. They literally, they can, like, their brains do not conceptualize Black women's faces in a way that, like, it's a challenge for us.
Yeah.
So they'll be, the other day I met he was trying to sell me something, right? But it was a guy who was in college, and he was like, I thought you were in college too. And I was like, please get away from me.
Listen, I told you, one of the first guys I dated when I came down here, he was like, he told me, I think it was after I had told him how old I was. He told me he was 26. I think he was 23, 22. And I was like 38. So, yeah.
Yeah. No, they're like, you're,
Yeah.
No, I have never had a Mexican person guess my age correctly.
Yeah.
Like when they're like, oh, you're so-and-so. I'm like,
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Listen, Black don't crack.
It doesn't. And they're not used to the way Black doesn't crack.
Right.
And so that is a challenge.
Mm-hmm.
All right. What else? People talk about the tech industry in Queretaro. Are
Mm,
you seeing people moving down for it?
yeah. But I haven't seen a lot of Americans moving down for it. It's been more folks from Japan, from China, from South Korea coming here. There are automotive plants here. There's like tech and electronic, for lack of a better word. But yeah, I have not seen a lot of Americans coming here. It's more folks from Asia.
Okay.
Hmm.
All right. That's good to know. Y'all, any other questions? What do you want to talk about?
Me?
Yeah.
Um, I'm still really curious about, especially now that you've been here, you've been in Mexico for what is it, 8 years, 7 years,
7 years.
7 years. Um, what like what has kept you here? And I know that you've spoken in previous conversations about the potential of needing to maybe relocate at some point. Like where's your head at? Like what is it looking like for you? Especially being here for so long.
So I was hanging out with someone in the community hey Chelsea, on Friday.
Hmm.
And she said something about like, she asked me if it was safe to walk to like in the after dark.
Hmm.
I left dinner with her after 9 and I went to the pharmacy.
Hmm.
I went to the bank and I went home. And the only alert moment was like I was walking into a bank to use their ATM and there was a guy sleeping in the ATM vestibule and I was like, okay, maybe not this one. But
Yeah.
there are 10 banks or more on this side of the street on my walk home.
Hmm.
So I'll just go to a different one, right? Um, it's That's part of what makes the city for me, right? It's like
Hmm.
there's never I feel safer here than I do in the US. And that's a really big thing.
Yeah.
Um, I feel safe at night. I was telling her where I live now, there's not an hour of the day where I wouldn't walk down the street by myself.
Yeah.
3 a.m., 4 a.m., 6 a.m., 2 p.m.
Yeah.
There's not a single time I would not just be like, okay. I
Hmm.
felt like that where I lived before. If there was like one street I wouldn't walk down
Yeah.
at night after dark because there were no street lights.
Hmm.
I just feel like I like it, right?
Hmm.
If I'm gonna get robbed, I need a witness. Now they can drive by. I need a witness. I walked home last night. I walk a lot. I walked home last night after
Yeah.
dark in a street I normally don't walk down.
Okay.
And there was only one moment. There was a woman who stepped towards me and made a sound in a way that I think she thought I was going to take as threatening. But I had clocked her from half a block ahead, and
Okay.
she wasn't sober enough to stand up straight. So, baby, and if you can't stand straight,
Yeah.
then you could do to me. And I don't think this is your pause. I don't think this is your sober behavior. I think this is your drunk behavior. I was going to say I don't think this is your normal behavior, but if she's drunk all the time, that might be her normal behavior. But very much like you're trying your alcohol riddled brain, whether it's
Mm-hmm.
moment, is like, grr,
Mm-hmm.
like, girl, I can knock you together. Like, okay. But like everybody, I'm walking past people in the dark, and there's her like that was my only moment of being like, oh, I need to be aware of what she has going on.
Yeah.
She's, got that little
She's wobbly.
samba dancing by herself with no music. Um, other than like I feel really safe here.
Yeah.
However, like I said, but my safety meter isn't set to Mexico yet.
Yeah.
I love the people here. Yesterday, like I said, I did Tai Chi in the morning. My instructor spoke some English, but he spoke to us in Spanish.
Yeah.
I went to did a clay thing last night, and not a single person spoke any English. It was too late in the day for me to not have any English at all. But I got through 5 hours of an event
Yeah.
in a part of town, very local. Made it home without anyone bothering me. And no one is like, "What are you doing here?"
Mm-hmm.
I go to places where there aren't an overabundance of white Americans asking me, "How'd you get down here?
Yeah.
What are you doing here?"
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Same.
It feels good. I have a life that is like built the exact way I want it to be built.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I talked about this with Spanish, but like I went to Tai Chi in the morning and ceramics in the evening. Both of those brand new experiences with like the teacher, and like I'd never done Tai Chi before.
Mm-hmm.
I'd never modeled things on clay that weren't on a wheel before.
Mm-hmm.
In order to do that, I skipped the Black Lady Saturday morning walk, but that exists.
Right.
I guess the Black Lady morning walk walked past me while I was Tai Chiing because I got a message from someone saying, I see you.
Oh.
I'm talking about their Tai Chi. Do you want to go to lunch later? But I had to.
You had another thing going on.
I had another thing. Yeah. But very much like that kind of situation where it is everything I want is available for me. Yeah. And if I want to sit in my home and not leave my home, I can also do that.
You can also do that.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
It's a city. Mexico City is a city.
Yeah.
But it's also like being in Mexico makes everything a little bit easier than it would be. Like if you picked Mexico City up and put it in the US, it would be exhausting. The city being in Mexico makes it a little bit more chill.
Okay. Right? Yeah.
It's going to be there on time. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's like in the way that in the US, people like my Tai Chi instructor showed up 15 minutes late. I know that people would be like, "What do you mean you're 15 minutes late?"
Mm-hmm.
And the class costs the same.
Right.
I'm not paying here. We're just like, whatever.
It is what it is. Yeah.
There's just a little bit more of a laid back attitude.
Right.
That works really well for me.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, no, yes, their Huevo sidewalks can be. I took a photo the other day. Let me see if I can find it.
That's why I mentioned the sidewalks earlier in our conversation. And I know it felt out of place, but like I know.
I got it. Let me see if I can find that sidewalk because, baby, when I took that photo, it was when I was walking home after dark that day.
Mm-hmm.
What was I wearing? It was this day. I don't know if you can see this, but that's a hole. That's a hole.
Oh my God. That's terrifying.
That's a hole.
That's a twisted ankle. That's like.
And they put a bridge over the hole.
Right, like,
you got to make sure. And imagine wearing it's wide. The street's wide. You don't have to worry about it. But if you're wearing heels and had to walk over that,
absolutely not. Terrifying.
It's just, yeah. And that's not the trees have damaged it. That's just
a hole. Yeah.
The top is missing, and the city knows the top is, or someone knows the top is missing and placed something down, but not a new top.
No.
How hard would it be to put the old top back on or the new top? I don't think someone stole that piece of metal, right? Like, I don't think that's what happened. I think y'all took it off to fix something and then lost it or just didn't put it back. You roll with it, right? You look down, you pay attention, you roll.
Mm-hmm.
Sidewalks really matter, yes. Sidewalks here.
Especially if you're someone that has mobility issues.
Yes.
And my mother, I have to be honest, like she has some mobility issues. And so it's nice being able to take walks with her when she was here and not have to worry about the sidewalks, damn it. Didn't have to worry about that.
So. Here, I did a walking last night. I walked down a sidewalk. Now the sidewalk had a curb cut, so if you were in a wheelchair, you could get down.
Okay.
Most don't.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think the one across the street did, which is very, very common. But you'll come to a sidewalk and one corner will have a curb cut and the other one won't. So like if I needed it here, I also need it here.
But you need it, yeah.
Or whatever. As I'm going down to the curb cut, the angle of a sidewalk is this.
Oh.
So I was like, a wheelchair wouldn't, I mean, they're going straight into the street.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But this was you walked up a tiny bit. It was like a slow angle like this, and then the angle down to the curb cut, down to the corner.
Like it just
even walking, I was like, this is walking in tennis shoes. I was like, this is a bit of this is a little treacherous.
Mm-hmm.
Like imagine that in a walker or with a cane.
Yeah. We're talking about cons. There's a con right there for you. If there's what was it in the States? It's ADA, right? Those the parameters, the things that you have to do to make sure that places are accessible for people of differing mobilities. Here, it feels like you're lucky if you have some things that address that for sure.
Yes. Are they doing anything with the older buildings to make them more accessible? Ramps or anything?
I don't know.
Okay.
No, I can, like, when I go downtown, no.
No?
Even, like I remember wanting to take a trip with my mom. It's like maybe, she and I can go to San Miguel or wherever. But I think about the buses, right? Because I would take like a Primera Plus or ATNE or something like that to get to the city. And I don't know that they have, because for her stepping up is difficult.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know that they have something that like, on buses in like New York or whatever, they'll have something that kind of lowers down so that it makes it easier for people. I don't know that they have that now that I'm thinking about it. So
I have not seen them on the buses that I've taken. Maybe they have like a special bus that runs once a day. Because there's no wheelchair access on those buses.
Right.
ETN, I feel like they would be a little better because they have that back entrance. If it's a decker bus, they have the back entrance, which might be a little bit easier, but the front entrance where you got to climb up the steps.
Yeah, not happening.
No. Celeste wants to know if there's a water crisis in Queretaro also.
Ew. Okay. It is not a city that's sinking, but yes, there were a few weeks earlier this year where something happened with the water access in my neighborhood, and they brought in trucks to fill.
Okay.
And they asked us, like, please don't use your dishwasher or anything like that. If you're going to be washing dishes, please wash by hand. Please be aware of your water consumption, like cut down on the length of showers, that kind of thing. And so that has been an issue.
Okay.
But I haven't seen anything since. I want to say, when was that? Maybe April or May this year.
Okay.
But that was like before rainy season.
Yeah. So all the rain.
Kind of replenishes. Yeah.
No, Queretaro was not built on a lake.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about the sinking. But I find it so interesting because Queretaro is such like a spread out city. When I take the bus, I'm like, we've entered Queretaro, and then we just keep going and going and like, the white houses out in the burbs.
Yeah.
And then you're passing by the fancy mall and you keep going. Yeah. It's such an interesting metropolis.
It is. Yeah. It feels like, to me, a bunch of smaller towns kind of connected together, or kind of like lobbed together. Yeah. It is interesting for sure. But no, we're not sinking, but there has been some water issue.
let's talk about the Black community there real quick. The Black community, is it mostly the Black in Querétaro group, or are there other kind of large offshoot groups?
From what I have seen, it's been mostly, and the connections that I've had has been mostly Black in Querétaro.
Okay.
Yeah, that's been the main connect for me.
And is there a large enough Black community that when you want to see Black people, you can see Black people?
What do you mean? Just like out, or
no,
like
if you go to events, is it like one person, or is it like 10 to 20 people?
Oh, I would say it's at least 10 to 20 people.
Okay.
But that said, like the connections I've had have been more like one-on-one.
Yeah.
But that's just because that's what I enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
But they do get, like I said, they get together pretty regularly, especially like I see at least a couple of times a month people talking about, hey, there's this, this market or festival happening downtown. We're all going to meet up and go. Or, hey, we're going to have pancake breakfast and practice our Spanish together. You guys come on out. So there's always something going on. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you're at work.
And I'm at work. Listen, I will say this about my job. It is based in the States. Do you remember a few years ago, you had someone comment on one of your lives that was like, hey, my job subsidized my ticket to Exodus Summit?
Yes.
That's me.
Oh.
Yeah. And so like they've been supportive up to a point,
Uh-huh.
And so because of that, I've stayed because it works.
Mm-hmm.
But at this point, I'm also kind of looking at like, what my options are as well. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's always important. Options are great. Well, thank you for being here with us today. I think there are a lot of people. There are more people than I thought who were thinking about moving to Querétaro.
Okay.
We have and Lena is moving there. My thingy's not working for some reason. Anyway, Lena is working there next year.
Okay. Amazing. Hi, Lena.
What is going on?
I can't see the comments, so.
My computer stopped working. Let's see if that helps. Nope. Anyhow, I don't know what's going on, y'all. But a lot of people seem to be interested in Querétaro, so I'm glad that we had this moment to be
conversation. I hope what I shared was helpful. I do not consider myself an expert by any means, but the experience that I've had here so far has been great. I had people ask about the cons, and I'm like, well, damn it, what are the cons? It's been a good experience, and so I appreciate being able to talk about it. Uh-oh. I lost her. I don't know if we are still live, and I can't see any of the comments. So thanks you guys for asking questions, for being here. I'm hoping that Rashida will join us again. I'm wondering if it was an issue with her computer. Let's see. Yeah, okay. Now I can see. Okay, I had to switch over. I was in the private chat section, but I was not in the comments section. Okay. Lena said, okay, let's see. We're still here. Okay. Thank you, Octavia. Absolutely. Yeah, thanks, Soul Sister Circle. Okay, you see me. Oh, goodness. I'm really hoping that Rashida will come back and close us out. Yeah, now that I can see the chat, is there anything else before we head out? Good. I'm glad that you guys enjoyed it. Oh, hi, Jalen. Thank you so much. I'm glad to see you. Okay, you can see and hear me. Absolutely. Okay, I think she's back. Hi. Ooh, we have one more question from Jalen. How do you feel?
You're in charge.
I'm not.
Just said you don't need to be doing this anymore. So take it away.
Lord. Jalen asks, is Queretaro a big earthquake zone? I don't know how to make the question show up. It is not, at least not while I've been here. I haven't had any major issues. Interestingly, like when I lived in South Korea, that was my first time living through an earthquake. We had an earthquake while I was there in Jeju Island, but we haven't had any tremors or anything like that here. So thankfully, because that was terrifying. Let's see.
Thank you for being such a great co-host. Because I don't know what's happening over here. I did not leave. I was forced out.
Oh my God. Okay.
That was my computer. Either my computer or my internet doing something.
Doing something weird. Okay.
Or the program itself. I don't know. We're back.
Well, thank you all. And thank you, Rashida. Like, it was so beautiful meeting you in Mexico City. I had such a great time. And I appreciate you just having me on.
Thank you. We'll have to do this again. See each other. If you're coming to the city, don't forget to go to HEB for me.
Absolutely. You got to let me know what you want. You have to like give me a little
I will have a list. Yes.
We'll make it happen.
All right. Thank you again for being here, everyone. Thanks for watching through the hiccups and all. Hang out for a bit, so be please. And I'll see the rest of you guys next week. Jaylin will be here next week, and we're talking about life in Ghana.
Ooh, so excited.
Yes, please be here. I think all that information was accurate. But please join us. Please join us as we talk to Jaylin next week about Ghana. Bye, y'all.
Bye.